Um, let me have Dr. Perbi. Yes, Dr. Perbi, from where you sit, you may want to ignore the lawyers and their legalese, and then let's hear from you. But it was deliberate to have the two speak first, particularly the Deputy Attorney General also, because we're in a place where, particularly the media, oftentimes there's too much, if you like, sensationalism and non-facts being turned into fact for a discussion. Yes, Dr. Perbi.
Yes, again, thank you for having me here. And I love your approach because it's created the legal framework for us to have the discussion, which is important. But I also like to say that a lot of times in this country, sometimes we let the technicalities overrun morality, ethics, integrity, and maybe even common sense. And so I appreciate the legal framework and particularly justice. I love how you said the police, for example, were looking at a case of stealing. Because as an ordinary citizen, one of the first things that came to mind was, the police were reported to that over $1 million have been stolen, and they went after these people, these house helps. Didn't it cross their minds, why would an individual have $100 million in their home? Right? That's for me, the common citizen's question. But now what you're saying is that, well, legally the police are looking at somebody has stolen somebody's property. But, well, then that brings in the OSP's investigation. Why should a public officer have $1 million sitting in their home? And that is why I say that this is not just legality. There are issues of morality and ethics involved. In fact, there even are issues of optics, just optics. When you are a public officer, you are held up to a higher moral standard and ethical standard than everybody else. So it is when you are a teacher. In fact, the scriptures say that not many of us should be teachers, because teachers will be judged with stricter rules because we're supposed to know better. So that's where I am coming from, right? Why will a public officer have $1 million, whether it's for their uncle, whether it's for their brother, whether it's for the mother at home? And why will this not raise alarm bells to a police? Is it normal that people keep $1 million on them? Is it normal for the police that they've seen that public officers stash money? And one of my concerns is, and I'm speaking as an ordinary citizen, because during the currency crunch, US dollar crisis in our country, I was told by individuals of ministers who come and change millions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars. I couldn't believe it. Maybe I'm naive. So is it that some people know that it is quite normal that public officers will have lots of cash on them? And indeed, we've seen cases where ministers and parliamentarians have lost money. They went to wash a car. Somebody stole 25,000. So has it become normal to the police so that it doesn't raise a bell? That is problematic. The other thing that worries me about this case is the very prejudicial statement the president made, and people have called him a clearing agent, right? Literally saying, I am confident that you'll be fine, nothing will. Why on earth would the president make such a statement?
He's supposed to know better than you. You have more information than you have on the case. That is his minister. Before the minister resigns, they would have had conversations. So he believes the minister's story. What's wrong with that?
Why then go even for the docket? What is the deputy? Samson, let me tell you that people are calling the president a clearing agent, all right? And so one wonders why, again, and I've done some financial advisory things. We raise red flags when it comes to money laundering, anything more than $10,000 and things like that. And one of the things that came to mind was, if the president is acting like a clearing agent, in quotes, is it because this minister is a cleaning agent? Is it that this whole sanitation thing is not what we think? Is she sanitizing monies for the government? I'm really disappointed that a president who is the father of all of us will not hold his horses and say that, yes, you're hardworking, and this is an accomplished woman, right? And we trust that due process will be followed. And you can even say, I hope you will be exonerated. That's very different from saying you are confident that you know the end of the matter prophetically, prejudicially. I get very worried about that. But one last thing.
Just a small bit about the connotations you think about sanitation.
Yes.
Many years ago, I was moderating a World Bank sponsored program on this extractive sector, and one of the foreigners, I don't know if he's an American or Britain, he approached me. The way the discussion had gone, he approached me and asked me. He asked, "Is in Ghana is sanitation, he said, is it a synonym or something for corruption?" Please go on.
Well, that's what it seems like. Because if you ask me, it seems like she's sanitizing monies or washing monies, laundering, which should not be the case. Again, it shows how low trust is in society. And the good lawyer mentioned that. Leadership is the foundation of all leadership is trust. And so once the trust is eroded, leadership is gone. And that is why people are concerned. Why is that Attorney General calling for the docket? Because there's no trust. Why will there be trust when the president has already cleared somebody who is yet to be investigated? I am worried that we are playing with leadership and the high calling that it is. Even for the minister herself to have gone after these two people or these house helps, did she not realize it was almost like you are running naked after someone because you are in the bathroom and they came for your stuff?
Well, that's part of the that's part of the argument in her favor by those who argue that if it was money that she could not justify, she would have kept quiet.
I wish we could say that, because on the other hand, what it could also mean is that if there is any wrongdoing, then maybe her cup is full. Okay. But that is why I'm saying there is a normalization. And some people have come out to justify why anybody will have $1 million. As if $1 million is nothing. You can just go around the street and pick it up. No. People have also wondered, could this money, you heard, you guys transmitted live Yaw Perbi's lecture during the week. I was surprised about 10% of our populace is somehow connected to the Galamsey value chain, right? People are also wondering, is this Galamsey money? The question is, why was this money not in the bank? What did this minister not know? As educated as she is and her husband, what was she afraid of?
Okay.
Why was this money not banked?
Thank you, Dr. Yaw Perbi. Let me come to you.